Welcome to episode 8. Well, we're really going to be covering everything. Episode 8 to fucking the last one, 13 of Journal with Witch. I'm here with my co-host, Uni. Uni, say something.
It really was a witch.
It really was a witch.
It really was a journal with witch.
It's true. I don't know. We're not really gonna go through every episode and talk about everything. I have like a few things that I enjoyed, and it's kind of gonna be kind of out of order. We had said a little bit before we started recording that these last few episodes, it's really funny that we stopped where we did, and now we're just deciding to cover all of it because it kind of does neatly fit together. Where this is kind of just like the Asa arc. Makio kind of just takes like a really aggressive backseat, like aggressively so, and this does just become about Asa for the most part.
This is the Asa hour,
Yeah,
so she could sing.
All right, what are your thoughts, Yumi?
I thought it was all right. Like, it's fine. It's just like sort of my problem is that like Asa is the most uninteresting character in the show to me, which is unfortunate because she is the main one. I mean, I think at best it's sort of like a deuteragonist sort of thing where it's Asa and Makio, but I think these like sort of, at least in this last chunk, it really treats it as like, nah, this is Asa hour.
This is just
Fuck
Asa.
you.
I really felt
It's just like I get it.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? I think it is interesting that even Asa herself points out that she is not the most interesting character, which is like funny, and I do like it as like sort of like a, that is just a funny element. But also at the same time, I like all these other characters better, so it's sort of I feel agitated a little bit with that. Sort of idea.
It was really funny because she just straight up just says that she really thought that her trauma was going to give her some level of like insight or make her more an interesting or complex character, and she's like shocked to find out no, it didn't. No, I still suck.
She doesn't have anything to say.
There's nothing.
Which is fun. That is fun, and ironically, it made me like her more. I will say, like, at least this last chunk of the episodes, at least made me more appreciative of Asa, which is like an accomplishment because I didn't care about her up until then. Yeah. But even then, almost every time any other character like has a major scene, I'm almost always like, I wish this was the main focus.
Yeah, I think the problem is, and I don't know if it was intentional or if like the writer just kind of knew that we were kind of just done with Makio. A lot of the drama that we got initially from Makio was her relationship with Asa and trying to, because she is like a socially reclusive person, and she says multiple times that she is someone that needs her own space, and now she's just trying to adjust her lifestyle with having someone who is almost the polar opposite to her in her life. She has her moments with bringing up her sister, and obviously the conflict that she hates Asa's mom, Makio's sister. She has the thing with her notebook that is clearly like a bit of an invasion of privacy on her part because she shouldn't have gone through it. And then Asa later finds out that she had that from her and she was hiding it from her, which to a degree she kind of was, because she was kind of debating when she was going to give it to her. And then we got like the reveal of why it is that Makio dislikes Asa's mom, which, by the way, I think I have a fair bit of criticism here. It really annoyed me. Part of the reason why it annoys me is because it's brought up like 2 to 3 times, where Asa asks Makio, "Why do you hate my mom?" And Makio shuts that down, and she goes, "I'm never going to tell you. You don't have a right to ask me something like that. Like, this is for me to know and for no one else to find out." But then and the reason why you would hide that from the audience is because there's going to be something really shocking or interesting, right? But there really wasn't. It was just kind of like, well, she was kind of mean to me, and she was dismissive of what I wanted to do for my career. And that was kind of like the extent of it. And if that was the answer, then why didn't you just say that to the audience? Like, it is not out of It is not out of Makio's character to just be blunt and just say that. But sorry, what were you gonna say?
I have information. I don't know if you, because I did a little bit of research after I watched the anime. The anime does not cover the whole manga. There is like 4 to 5 volumes that it doesn't cover.
That changes
So
things.
potentially, I will say that like if that is the case, because with that information in mind, it could be the case that there is a big revelation, but it's in the manga and the anime just didn't get to it.
Oh man,
Uh,
I'm gonna have to have the
which totally
manga
could be the
review
case,
ready.
but also it could just be the case that that is the secret. But I'm kind of, yeah, I'd at least want to get that idea out there because that could be the case. I don't know.
Well, if that is the case, then I guess I would just strictly be talking about the anime, and I think the anime kind
Yeah.
of just does that a disservice if that happens to be the case, because again, it just felt like, again, with the anime, that there just wasn't any reason to not just reveal that to the audience if it is just like, oh, she was just kind of mean to me, and she was dismissive of what I wanted to do as a career, and she was really cruel towards me. And obviously, we get to understand why she was the way that she was, but that doesn't really matter. And that was before we, the audience, or Makio knew. So I don't know. I don't know why not just reveal that, because it just wasn't
I,
anything crazy.
I'm sort of I was thinking about it because, like, I think the idea is to take a step in the shoes of the people making the anime. Probably the idea is that it's sort of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. Because I expect that there's some setup for things that like the anime very clearly doesn't like resolve, and that's even like a thing brought up like near the end is like, oh well, maybe Asa will never get all the answers that she wants, which I felt like a tongue-in-cheek sort of approach to the idea that this isn't a full coverage of the manga. But also it's probably like the idea like, well, if they do get the opportunity to do like a season 2 or do like, some sort of continuation, then those things that they set up they can then resolve. But because the anime is sort of like in this weird, it's sort of like just in a weird in-between state. And I don't know. I feel like because obviously, like if they don't get the opportunity to do a season 2, then it's just sort of like there's just some weird elements in this work that don't fully work by itself.
Yeah.
But if you do make it to be like just like, oh well, we'll just do anime original stuff for the sake of the anime itself as an adaptation, and then you do get the opportunity to do like another thing, well then there'd be weird elements to just try to like shove it into that new continuation. So I don't know. I'm sympathetic to the creators in that sort of angle, but I will say at least for now, it does make the anime as a weaker uh, piece overall because of that approach.
Yeah, there were a few other things that I felt I think they were like almost like glossed over, and again, assuming that there might just be something missing from the manga, it kind of just feels, I don't know how to put it, that a lot of there's like a few problems, a few like quote unquote arcs that are popping up in the background alongside of Asa. Like you have like the baseball player, you have that girl that like may not make it into the medical school because apparently they're just like extremely misogynistic and are just docking points from women for like almost no reason. It's clearly like a misogynistic thing. And I think with like Emity's boyfriend, which really felt like nothing, like it just felt like an extension of like really making it clear, or her ex-boyfriend or something, right? Like she's had like a relationship
It
with
was
this
just a guy
dude.
who was interested in her
Yeah,
and trying to
okay.
pursue her, and she's like, "I'm in a women,
And then
fuck
she,
you."
yeah, and
She
then
was
this
like,
is, I really feel like I didn't need that. It's like Emity's gay. She's gay. I get it. She's gay. I didn't need her to completely dismiss this dude for me to get it that she's gay. And then he's kind of like shown on camera when Asa is singing, because obviously that's like supposed to be the moment where like all these characters are like, oh my god, I understand now. I get it. You know, the doctor girl, or the girl that wanted to be a doctor, is there watching her. This dude shows up and he's watching her, and then the guy that's having his dilemma with the baseball team can hear her, you know. And it's that moment, it's like, why are we giving any attention to this guy? Like, he is so nothing. He is like genuinely so fucking nothing, and I don't care about this guy whatsoever. And you, the anime, you don't care about this guy either. So why are we even pretending? Why are we giving this guy like any screen time? This is something
"Might
that
get
could
a
have been
season 2."
complete. This thing is something that could have been completely cut, and it would have changed literally nothing. Like, I just didn't understand like why there was anything there. And again, I'm gonna speak about this work as it is, and not as like what we're missing from the manga or what might be coming to be. But Emity's relationship with that girl, pink haired girl that shows up, I should have written these names down. It felt, I don't know, the payoff just wasn't there for me. Like, obviously they start playing footsies and they start talking about Asa, and then everybody says that really funny thing of about Asa where she's like, "Oh man, her parents died. Now I kind of have to be her friend forever." I have to I have to be Asa's friend until the end of time now. And obviously she says after, she's like, not that I plan to stop being her friend, but like that's like a weird thing to say. That's
Well,
I thought that was
well,
really
this is some
funny.
insight because I looked into that specific element because I thought that was that's an interesting idea, and apparently it is involved in an arc that does conclude in the manga, but in the anime, it just sort of is a weird idea that they bring out and
Oh
then they don't
man.
really resolve.
Yeah, that was real. That was in the anime itself. It's just like, well, what is this? What do you mean? Why would you say that? It's like that's such a weird thing to say if you don't feel that way. Actually, like that's not. You would never
Well,
bring
I
that
think the
up.
idea is it's because earlier like Asa would talk to her about like, oh, do you want to date? Do you want to get a boyfriend or something? And so I think the idea is that like Emily feels like sort of a distance with Asa because she isn't like out as gay to her. Because
Yeah,
whenever she talks to Asa, it's always like in the sense of like heteronormative stuff. So I think the idea is that she's sort of like, and that's why the girlfriend is there to sort of just like as a visual metaphor for like she has like a weird distance, but also she is her friend, but also is sort of a bunch of feelings that she doesn't can't fully unpack.
yeah.
And then the anime never fully unpacks them, so I don't know.
And it's clear that it's being set up with no payoff, and not just Emily being gay, but like the distancing that she was having with Asa, because she goes as far as telling Asa, it's made clear to her and the audience that like, hey, I don't want to talk to you about romance anymore. I don't want to talk to you about relationships because you're kind of an asshole to me, or you're not being an asshole intentionally, but you bringing these things up makes me uncomfortable because I'm gay and I
It's
haven't
not
revealed
woke.
that to you. But like, but
That's
Asa is like, she is being an asshole. She is being an asshole because I think she literally says that to her, and within the same scene, like 2 seconds later, she's already bringing up boys again to her in relationships. So it's clearly that it was set up, and then there was nothing, and then there was nothing. There was literally fucking nothing. It went nowhere.
you gotta
Um,
read the manga if you want it.
Oh Lord, yeah, but then that's what
Or-
this becomes. It's just like, oh yeah, fuck this show. Just read the manga because things are set up,
yeah.
and then there's no payoff. There's just like no payoff anywhere. Um, I don't know.
Unless
Unless
there's
there's
more of the anime, which
unless
we don't
there's a
know.
season
There
two.
will or won't be. Yeah, because that is interesting. It is like sort of it's an interesting space for a piece of art, isn't it? Where it's just like, we might get conclusions to all this, or there just might not be anything, and then you just have to read the manga.
I would almost want to bring up as like a defense, or not as a defense, but as like, trying to shut down the season two ideas, because we have that, like, I think it's like a 10-year jump, but like this show has
Yeah.
had like no issue with kind of going back and forth between places. Like, and I was totally right. I remember I brought it up in episode 1 when we were seeing a more developed relationship between Makio and Asa. And I think I said, like, we don't know where they're at this point, because this feels like they're in a more developed point in their relationship where Asa's doing dishes, she's singing, and Makio is like doing her work, and Makio feels confident enough with her relationship to tell her, "Hey, can you sing Justin Bieber?" And then she immediately starts singing Baby. But then it comes full circle, because in the last episode we go in present time. That's not in the jump skip, or the 10-year jump, where it is just the first episode again, and it is just then. It was like after she sang, and then she was just singing again. So it kind of came full circle there. So I don't know if they were to do a season 2. I guess they could make it work, because this show is
Yeah.
not shy of jumping around back and forth between big lengths of time. So who knows? It's very
Yeah, I mean that,
avant-garde.
that I think that's why they even like have the ending as it is, which I think as an ending is like fine. If you don't, I mean, I guess fine in the sense where it's just like
I would fight you about
It
that.
seems like everyone's doing good, but we don't really know how we got there. But we know that they're doing good, so
That's
I
not
guess
good
that's
enough.
nice.
That's not good enough. I don't like it. I don't like it because there's like so many. I have so many questions. Like I have so many
Yeah,
fucking questions.
but
Like
then if they get a season 2, they could show. They
okay,
could
but
show
I
what they
don't. But
did.
we're not there. That's like a big what if. We're not there. We're not at season 2. It's like the why. Why not take the okay? Like because there are really easy ways that you can do this without necessarily having to say anything. It's just very easily implied. If Emity's girlfriend was just sitting next to her in the finale, I would have been happy with that. I would have been like, okay, well at least she's right there. At least like it clearly shows that Emity finally became comfortable or was willing to just be forthrightly gay to people, because that was like never a question with Emity. Emity always knew she was gay. I really feel that like very strongly, even when she was talking to Makio and trying to like pick her brain of like what she thought about marriage. Emily clearly brings up that like, well, like I kind of like the idea of marriage, but not like traditional, like not normal marriage. Like she is obviously saying she is gay. And that was never a question with Emily. She always knew that. She just like needed that like little bit of nudging to get her where she needed to be. And then the finale happens and she's sitting there and I was like, well, where's her girlfriend? The most that we got from her was she was playing footsies and they were holding each other's pinky. And then we have the time skips. Like you could have easily just done it that way without having to say anything. Just her girlfriend is sitting next to her. It's clearly the same girl from 10 years ago, and that would have been good enough. But there just is no payoff there. And then what happens to the girl that wanted to go? Because obviously the entire thing with that girl is that she feels like her life is ending. She feels because she cannot be a doctor and all the dreams and aspirations that she had are kind of falling apart, and that she's not going to be able to get what she wanted. And she goes as far as asking Asa. She doesn't ask directly, but Asa obviously knows what she's asking. Is like, did you feel like your life was over? And she is essentially saying, well, I feel like my life is over. Which is why she was looking for her, because she wanted that song to be able to inspire her and be like, your life is not over. You're still alive. You can still do something. And then obviously she watches her sing and she says something in English. I forget exactly what she says. Do you remember?
I witness you.
I witness you. And then Asa is like,
Well,
that is so cool.
That. I didn't give a fuck with that character until she said that. I'm like, whoa.
Well,
I didn't know she was cool.
I didn't know you were sick. I didn't know you were sick like that, Mario. Dude, yeah.
That did, unironically, that made me like, oh, that was cute.
I witness you. Yeah, like I kind of felt the same
very
way.
like it felt like a little edgy, but also like in a nice way.
And then you, me, and Asa, the entire audience are like, wow, that was cool. She is cool. And then we don't know what happens to her.
We don't know.
And then it goes nothing. And then nothing happens. And then nothing happens. Oh man, it's just really frustrating. Again, a lot of things set up, and it's just like, it just doesn't feel like it goes anywhere because the anime just decides to do the 10-year skip. I don't know. I generally did not feel very strongly about the last few episodes. I think I guess I'm with you, where which is kind of crazy because I think between the two of us, I've been the one that spoke most positively about most episodes. Oh yeah, and then the other thing I forgot to mention with Makio, the other thing that she had of drama was obviously her trying to reconnect with Kasamachi. So she had like a lot of things going on. But then within these 8 episodes, it really feels like she arbitrarily takes a back seat. Like the story doesn't do anything to make it clear that like, okay, we're kind of done with Makio. This is really about Asa now. But then they still keep showing me Makio, and she keeps being on screen by herself, and it's just like, well, she's not really doing anything. Like, we're kind of like done with her. She has no drama. She's not having any issues. There's no like weird relationship stuff. It's just kind of set in stone. Like anytime Makio was on screen, it didn't feel like I'm being told or shown anything that I already don't know about her, you know?
Well, I will say at least Makio does have like a little bit of a thing where it seems like she is like, because this was an idea brought up before, and it seems like the resolution, at least that the anime presents to sort of like the Makio Asa dynamic, is that she is like now at an acceptant point that like, oh, she kind of does think of her as like a daughter.
Yeah.
Because there's like it was an interesting conversation, but like that the mom has with Makio, where it's just like she like talks about having like a child like a curse, like you will you will now be forced to be around this thing even if you don't want to, or like you'll have emotional attachment even if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Now it is inflicted upon you, and I guess that is the resolution
Yeah. This
to
is a
Makio, at least
curse.
presented in the anime.
You have been cursed with being a side character now. Bang.
And I will say I think the Asa stuff, you know, for as much attention they put on it, I thought was done fairly okay. It wasn't like terrible.
Yeah, it was really funny. Again, I know I already said this before, but it's funny that we kind of stopped where we did because it did just become very Asa centric from like episode 8 onwards, and almost she obviously is, because this is a coming of age story. Obviously, no one needs to tell you that. It's very obvious. But a lot of like the final arc is her just like, is she gonna sing at this place? Is she not gonna sing at it? What is she thinking? Is she going to do it? And one thing that did happen that I really did like, that I thought was really funny, was when she was kind of like trying to figure out what she wanted to do with her life. Like, who am I? What do I do? She went around asking everybody, and everyone had like really. It felt like from the most extreme to the most ordinary life, and the most ordinary life just being Kasamachi and be like, well, I'm kind of like a boring guy and I really don't have anything going on, but you'll find something you like doing. To like the other guy that was, oh god, I'm trying to remember. I think it was Makio's friend that was also
Just
like a writer friend, you know, that showed up. And I'm trying to remember what he says. He said something to like the effect of like, you got to kill with your writing, something to that effect, you know. And I thought that was really funny because everyone gave her drastically different answers, and she was like, I don't understand. Which I guess is like, she, the easy point to take away from there is that like everyone finds meaning differently, and what you decide to do with your life is your own, and you'll find a way to be happy. But obviously Asa just doesn't get it. She's like, why is everyone so different? Also, there's that really funny moment with Makio that I liked a lot when Emily just asked her, is like, is it fulfilling to be a novelist? And she just says no. Just like point blank, I am not fulfilled with this. Just like, I have no satisfaction. This sucks. Whatever. That was really funny. I really liked that. I don't know. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Do you have any other closing thoughts? Do you have anything else you want to mention?
There's actually one piece of interesting directing that I liked.
Okay.
It's the part where they talk. Like, this is before she sings out, where they're like holding auditions for people to sing. And Asa's like whole like trepidation with singing is like sort of like a holdout from her father, which I think the best thing about the show, at least for us for this show, was the revelation that the reason they didn't talk about the dad is literally just because he is like a nothing vacuous person. So like even in the story he is like just nothing, which is why they barely mentioned him. But the only impact that seemingly her father had on her, at least for like in terms of like emotional baggage, besides like I guess when he died, was that like when she sang, he was just like, well, it was very you, or something like that. It's just like a nothing statement.
He said,
so,
oh, well,
no.
Like he said, yeah. I think exactly, well, you stood out. That's like almost verbatim.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's what he says. Yes. And so it just like, it gives her like a weird like complex of like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, he doesn't even say it in a negative or positive way. He just says you stood out. And that was it.
It's like, and so she just has like a weird like, well, is it good to stand out? Do I want to stand out? But I do like that like when she actually does sing for the auditions, we never actually see it because that's not the point. The point is that she's like trying and having fun.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. I was like, oh, it's a neat way to do it.
Yeah. You know, one thing to mention briefly, because I'm glad that you mentioned the dad, I had completely forgot, was that I'm really, really glad. Yeah, I know. I'm really, really glad that we got that revelation that the only reason that he is sticking around is because they had a daughter and he feels like an obligation to stay here because they're having a kid. And you really feel it. You really feel it. He doesn't really give a fuck about Asa. He does not give a fuck about his marriage whatsoever. He does not. He is there for like appearances and because it's the right thing to do. But he genuinely does not give a fuck. And I like how that is like clearly shown. They do not back off from that idea of, oh yeah, I am just here because we're having a daughter, and I guess, you know, I should stay here. And then when Asa's like, hey dad, I love you, what'd you think? He's like, whatever, you stood out. And he's like, what did dad mean by that? And he's like, well, don't worry about that, but what did you mean? And he just ignores her. He just doesn't care.
I'd love the Asa's dad spinoff. I want to see, like, does this man have anything in his heart? What did he actually love?
Yeah.
He didn't love his family, but who did he love? He had to love something, right?
Yeah, something. Oh man, well, I think that pretty much covers it. I would say, man, this is gonna be hard for me to do because I think we're gonna shift roles here. I can feel the vibes. This would probably get either a low 6 or a high 5 from me, which is kind of crazy because I feel like I've been very positive about like the individual episodes up until this point. I think the fact that like a lot of things just don't get resolved, and I may either one have to read the manga or two wait for a season 2 is not a satisfying response. And I don't know, I just wish I got a lot more from these characters and a lot more definitive endings. And like I had said before, there was easy ways to show these things without necessarily having to say them, and they just chose not to do that either. It could have been very easily just to have Amity's girlfriend sitting next to her. Now I don't even know, like, is she still gay? Does she have a girlfriend? I don't know. What did this
she
girl
get conversion therapy?
Yeah, did this girl did that other girl that wanted to become a doctor, what are her pursuits? Did she manage to make it into doctor? Did she like go abroad to become a doctor? Did she just give up on that, on wanting to be a doctor? Girl? I don't know. What about
did the fat girl ever make her manga?
Did the fat girl ever make her manga? Which I assume
is just the mangaka self-insert. I'm just gonna assume that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt really unsatisfactory. So, but I really did like the beginning a lot. I really did like when Makio was a lot more center stage, which is funny because I think you had said that at first. Like, you didn't start liking the show until I think Daigo showed up, and Daigo is obviously an extension of Makio, so a lot of things.
Makio's the best part. She's the best character.
Yeah, but as time gone on, yeah, you really like Makio, and I guess I didn't realize how much I missed her until, like, again, the show just decided, okay, we're just done with her, and then it became more Asa centric, and I was just like, you know. I kind of miss Makio a lot, actually. She brought a lot more to the show.
So anime in general, a lot of manga adaptations, well, just adaptations of anime in general, a lot of them are made with the pretext that they're just sort of like an advertisement for the anime. I mean, not the anime, the manga.
Yeah.
It seems like, unless there is more continuation, that it seems like unfortunately, the journal with its anime just sort of is just an advertisement for the manga. Because like I can't imagine anyone like watching this and then like if they just don't have the information that there's a manga, like there's a source material, like if they just assume that this was like a single piece of work, that it would be very satisfying. It doesn't really feel like, well, I guess I gotta go read that thing.
Yeah,
I gotta go read that thing now.
Unironically, that is how I feel, and I probably am going to do that. But anyway, I think that is my final.
But I'm not gonna read it because I didn't care that much. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. It was fine.
6 out of 10.
I just simply did not care that much about Asa, and even though I'm like at the end, I'm like, yeah, Asa's alright. I don't care enough about her to go read that manga.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just fine with it not being resolved. I just don't care that much.
You know, funny enough, the reason I'd even pick up the manga would be less for Asa and literally more for everyone else. Like, everyone else is why I'm going to be picking this up. I don't know. I guess
probably
I'm kind of around the same lines.
The art style's more interesting in the manga too, but that's usually the case.
Yeah, I'd probably have a higher score, but I really feel like these last few episodes, if I'm just being completely honest, did kind of just feel like a slog for me. It was definitely like, oh man, all right, time to watch the next episode. I wasn't excited. So yeah, I think I'm kind of stuck between a low 6 and a high 5. I think that's just kind of where I'm at. But again, the first few episodes that I watched, you know, up until like episode 7, or I guess up until episode 8, were really good.
It peaked when Makio kissed the boy.
Yeah, when he looked at her and said, "Other guys don't."
You know,
smell
Twitter is often terribly wrong about everything. But that one person on Twitter who's like, "This is the hottest thing ever." They were right about that.
This is the hottest thing I've ever seen. Oh man!
But you know what's a better anime adaptation of a manga?
What's that?
also watch that.
Okay.
And that is definitely
All right.
It concludes nicely on itself.
Okay, so thank you for coming, watching the finale of Journal with Witch. This was we'll catch you next time. We're still debating on what we're going to do next, but we will do. We will no. We will be doing something hopefully relatively soon. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry that this took so long. Bye.